The Pittsburgh Steelers have good and bad news heading into Week 8. The good news is Cordero Patterson and Tyler Matakevich are expected to return from IR, open their practice window, and begin that 21-day activation period where they could come back and be added to the 53-man roster. I expect Cordero Patterson to be on the 53-man roster simply because the Steelers only have one more game to call up Jonathan Ward. They clearly made a mistake with Aaron Shaplin. And I mean, I like Aaron Shaplin. I really definitely do. But the fact that he's inactive while Jonathan Ward is getting called up from the practice squad, questions. I definitely have questions there. I look at it like Cordero's coming back from what I've been told. Cordero is expected to play on Sunday against the Monday against the New York Jets. And that will allow the Pittsburgh Steelers to move on from Aaron Shaplin, have their running back. It just essentially solves everything they were looking for. And Tyler Matakevich, the same, but with less of an expectation. Could come back, is feeling healthy. The Steelers might also look at it and say, I mean, Dean Lowry's blocking field goals, and at this point, everybody's just playing well on special teams. So it would be great to have them, but maybe we could wait till after the bye. There's not as big of a rush there. And then at corner, I expect some shakeup. I know that Mike Tomlin said that DeMonte KZ is expected to play this weekend. From what I've been told, the Steelers could be cautious about the situation and hold him off the field until after the bye week. He's been dealing with this injury since week 3. It's just something where rest is required and will likely help it long term. So why not rest him? They kind of alluded or hinted at that move when they signed CJ Henderson to the 53-man roster, who I'm excited to see on the field. I'm excited to see CJ Henderson get some play. That's a former 9th overall pick. That's not bad. And I'm talking, and 4 years ago, that's a 9th overall pick. That's a name to watch. I'm excited to see CJ Henderson out there. I've also been told, and Nick Fairbaugh was the first to report on this, I just confirmed it, that Corey Trice is healed up, ready to go. He's just kind of waiting for his opportunity. And the Steelers could look at this and say, the Giants, they're not a great passing game. Maybe we just go CJ Henderson, Joey Porter Jr., and James Pierre, or they look at it and say, Dante Jackson's going to be out. We could activate Corey Trice from IR if need be. According to sources, he's ready at a moment's notice to get back out there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I could see both of those happening. I don't know what's going to happen. There's this chill in the air. The leaves are hitting the ground, and football is every single weekend. And that, my friends, is what fall is all about. You can make each weekend even more exciting by getting into the action with our partners, DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. And right now, all new customers who bet $5 instantly get $200 in bonus bets. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up using my promo code ALLSTEELERS, and guess what? The crown is yours. That's $200 in bonus bets instantly. You could stay in on the action and use that $200 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings, because DraftKings is the place to bet touchdowns. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You could still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers who use my promo code ALLSTEELERS and bet just $5 on any wager get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ALLSTEELERS only at DraftKings Sportsbook. I'll ask you from a coach's perspective here, Coach Nick Belsky. If you were the Steelers, would you trust a CJ Henderson and James Pierre against, I want to say Malik Neighbors and Darius Slayton, but if we're going to be honest, Daniel Jones, would you trust them against Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I would give them that opportunity because I think that, yeah, it might create a matchup issue, but honestly, at the same time, you saw the same exact thing last year with the primetime game against the Tennessee Titans. What did we see last year? We saw Darius Rush get a lot of opportunities because the Steelers felt that that was a game where you could try to kind of test him and see what you have in Darius Rush without hurting your team to a full extent. I think this is a similar situation for the Steelers, whether that be through giving Corey Trice some playing time, whether that be through CJ Henderson, or whether that be through James Pierre, who wasn't great last weekend, but also who was he going up against a lot of the times? He was going up against Garrett Wilson. So
Yeah,
he's not going up against a Garrett Wilson level guy this week. So maybe you give one of those three guys an opportunity, and definitely try to make sure that Dante Jackson is 100% before putting him back out on the field, because you're really going to need him to be at full health going into the second half. And if he's been dealing with this since week 3, why not give him that extra week, especially since you're up against the bye week right now?
I agree. You're too close to it. Don't risk the injury. I look at it more and say Dante is worth the break, and you could have Joey Porter Jr. shadow Malik Neighbors the entire game, feel comfortable there, and have everybody else figure out Darius Slayton. And he's also a slot guy, so maybe Beanie Bishop plays him, which he would anyways. And I don't know. I just think you could get away with it and have options and feel comfortable, whether you got to move Minka in for some added help. I don't know how you go about it, but I don't think this is the worst matchup in the world for the Steelers to say, you got to go out there. And if we're going to be real, I mean, Dante Jackson didn't play the entire second half. Aaron Rodgers had 275 yards or something like that. And there was one noticeable play, and it was to Alan Lazard on James Pierre, where you went, oh, that was rough. Besides that, there really wasn't any that like truly stood out and made you worry. So hopefully he could do better against Daniel Jones and company in week 9. All right. With that said,
really quickly,
quarterbacks.
I was going to say, before we move on, we got a little bit of news here from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They officially announced the signing of CJ Henderson to the active roster from the practice squad. They signed Braden Fehoko to the practice squad, so he is back, and they placed Mon Adams on the injured reserve list.
Oh, okay. Montravius Adams on IR. That's a bummer, dude. I'm a big Montravius Adams guy. I thought he's been playing well the last 2 seasons, but he's been banged up. He's been dealing with injuries. Hopefully he's good. I'm sure I'll get some insight for tomorrow on what that injury is looking like and how long he's going to be out. I'll make some phone calls after I get off here, and we'll figure out what he's looking at, what time frame he's looking at. That's a bummer. Shout out to Montravius Adams. Hope he's good. Glad to have Braden Fehoko back. Fun fact about Braden Fehoko: somebody came to my house on Halloween. I don't think Braden Fehoko lives by me. I'm almost positive he didn't, actually. And the kid said, I was just at a Pittsburgh Steelers house. He was giving out full-size candy bars. Why aren't you giving out full-size candy bars? And I was like, I don't know, man. I like what?
Because I'm not a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, dude. He's rich and famous, and I'm just some guy in a townhouse. Like, what are we doing here, pal? And I went in the next day, and I like started asking around, like, yo, who's giving out full-size candy bars? Everybody's like, oh, it's definitely Fehoko. And I went up to him and asked, and he was like, oh yeah, dude. He's like, I was the talk of the town. I was like, well, man, you had kids bummed out at me. They don't even know that I know you like that. And now here we are. So shout out Braden Fehoko. He is a good dude. Excited to have him back. But hopefully the best for Montravius Adams.